All right, listen up, because what we're about to cover is the single most powerful weapon you can have in the Dubai real estate market. This isn't about fancy sales pitches. This is about the deep legal knowledge that separates the average agents from the absolute market leaders. Let's jump in. So, what is it? What's the real difference between an agent who's just getting by and a broker who's pulling in millions? Is it just luck? Better connections? No, it's something much deeper, something anyone can learn. And here it is. The top earners don't just play the game, they know the rules inside and out. They use legal knowledge as their ultimate competitive advantage to protect their clients, to lock down their deals, and to build a reputation that's absolutely bulletproof. Okay, so here's our game plan. Think of this as your personal playbook. We're going to start with the fundamentals of ownership, move into the high-stakes world of developers, and finish by making sure you get paid. By the end of this, you'll be operating with a whole new level of confidence. All right, let's dive right in with Section 1, the Ownership Playbook. You've got to know these rules cold. These are the absolute fundamentals before you even think about closing a deal. First concept you have to know, Pre-emption Right. It sounds kind of formal, right? But it's actually super simple and incredibly powerful. It just means if your client co-owns a property and the other owner wants to sell their piece, your client gets the very first chance to buy it before it hits the open market. So why is this such a big deal? Because knowing this makes you a hero. You can advise your client with total authority, you prevent some stranger from suddenly becoming their new business partner, and you stop the whole deal from blowing up at the 11th hour. Now, let's talk rentals. Landlords can't just invent a new price when it's time to renew. RERA has hard and fast rules. Here's the key takeaway. If your client's rent is way below the market, we're talking more than 40% below, the landlord's increase is capped. The absolute maximum they can raise it is 20%. Knowing these numbers means you can advise anyone, tenant or landlord, with complete certainty. Okay, we've got the basics down. Now let's level up and talk about the biggest players on the board, the developers. If you want to win in this market, you have to know exactly what they're supposed to do and what they're not. Pay close attention here, because this is a huge deal for off-plan buyers. The developer is responsible for any defective installations, bad plumbing, faulty electrical, for 1 full year. But here's the crucial question. When does that clock start ticking? It's not when your client gets the keys. It starts the second that project's completion certificate is issued. And this is so important because it cuts out any games. A buyer can't just refuse to take possession to try and stretch out the warranty period. Nope. The date on that certificate is a hard stop. It's a non-negotiable deadline that brings clarity and protects everybody. Now, get ready for this because this might be the single most powerful piece of client protection in the entire off-plan market. What happens if a project isn't just delayed? What if RERA itself steps in and cancels the whole thing? This is the number. Burn this into your brain. 0%. That is the absolute maximum a developer can keep from your client's money if RERA cancels the project. It's not a partial refund. It is a full 100% refund of every single dirham. But, and this is a massive but, look at the difference here. If RERA cancels, your client gets everything back. But if the developer terminates for a reason that's out of their hands, they can legally hold on to as much as 30% of your client's money. Knowing the reason for termination is a detail that could be worth millions. Okay, we've talked a lot about protecting your client. Now, let's talk about protecting you. This is all about making sure you get paid for all your hard work. It's about making your contracts and your commission totally bulletproof. So imagine this. You've done all the work, you've got a signed contract, the commission is right there, you can almost taste it. But a tiny mistake, a simple oversight, could make the entire thing vanish. What are the 2 little words that can make that happen? Null and void. These 2 words are like a legal bomb. They can erase your contract like it never even happened. And it all stems from failing to follow one of the most basic rules in the book. And it all comes down to one simple, non-negotiable step: registration. It doesn't matter if it's your marketing agreement with the developer or your client's off-plan unit. If it is not properly registered with the Dubai Land Department, it can be declared null and void. So remember the formula. No registration means no contract, and no contract means no commission. It is that simple. Look, knowing the rules isn't just about making money, it's about not losing it. And trust me when I tell you, not all mistakes have the same price tag. The financial hit you can take varies dramatically. Just look at this for a second. The scale is insane. Getting in the way of a RERA employee might hit you with a 5,000 dirham fine. Annoying, but you'll survive. But violating the rules around jointly owned properties, that fine can go up to 2 million dirhams. Knowing the difference here is what keeps you in business.
You see what I'm saying? This isn't just boring legal stuff. Every single rule we've talked about is a piece of armor. It's a shield that protects your client, it protects your deal, and most importantly, it protects your commission.
All right, you have the playbook. You know the rules. Now it's time for the final mission briefing. It's time to take all this knowledge and turn it into pure market domination. Listen, what we just went through, that wasn't just a bunch of facts and figures. You have literally just laid the bedrock of your entire career. This is the solid foundation you're going to build a powerful, respected, and seriously profitable business on. So from this moment on, you are no longer guessing. You're not just hoping a deal works out. With this knowledge, you are in control. You understand the risks, you see the opportunities. You are mastering the game. Now go out there and dominate the market.